Hello, everybody. Sorry you could kind of barely see me because of a glare, but I'm in the middle of moving, so this is the best I can do today. Like I said, I was very busy over the past 24 hours. I'm exhausted from traveling, and I haven't really slept, but here I am. Still want to give an update. Probably going to be one of my quickest updates of the season, especially since you could barely see me. Um, but I had to at least record some sort of opinions today because I might actually have to give props to Keanu, of all people. Shocking, I know. But after Kat got the boot last night, thanks to Kelly once again winning the blockbuster, um, then Keanu won the HOH. I was a little perturbed at first, especially since knowing Kelly is for sure going to make jury now, which is not my favorite thing. I think she's going to be a terrible juror. But yeah, when I first saw that Keanu won HOH last night, I was at an airport and I didn't even want to turn on the feeds to see what was possibly going down. But I eventually did, and when I eventually did, I was surprised to not be annoyed with Keanu. I was even pleasantly surprised with a few things. Obviously, Keanu was feeling pretty bad about trying to get Rachel out last week and thus wanting to nominate her during Vince's HOH. And I feel like now that he's HOH, he for the first time ever, and I've been saying this all season, how can Keanu say he wants to be Rachel's HOH if he is not doing anything to help her game? Well, now that he's HOH, it seems like he wants to finally prove that he wants to act like her final two for once. Last night, Rachel was certain that Keanu was going to nominate her. She tried to apologize for coming up with a nomination speech if she were to win HOH this week. But Keanu didn't want to hear that. And I feel like he even had a couple of good ideas, which surprises me as much as it probably surprised most of you, that I can sit here and say that Keanu had a couple of good ideas, because there's usually nothing but bad, stupid ideas going through that man's head. Um, One of them, I'm not actually sure if it was a good idea or if it's just me being biased because I'm rooting for Ashley. But he doesn't want to nominate Ashley because he thinks Rachel and Ashley will be seen as a duo before he and Rachel and get put up on the block together. The same way that might happen to him and Kelly. This is some sort of way to preserve he and Rachel going up on the block together. But yeah, Ashley being safe is really all I needed to hear from this HOH from Keanu. That was good enough for me to not hate on him too much today. Um, Keanu then also did not fall for Vince's tears, for Vince's victim act. At one point, Vince went so far to call himself a bitch who sucks at the game to try and make Keanu feel bad. And it didn't work. For once, it did not work on Keanu. And I like that Keanu threw some stuff back in Vince's face about how Vince takes the info Keanu gives him and blows it out his ass. To quote, that's what Keanu said, that Vince blows the info he gives him out of his ass. And then later, when talking to Morgan, Morgan tried to make it clear that she was not the one that went to Rachel with the information that Keanu was trying to get her out last week, which made Keanu certain that it must have been Vince who did so. So, yeah, at one point during the wee hours of the morning, Keanu wanted to nominate Vince and Morgan together because he thinks they talk too much about his info and are playing messy. He also wants to nominate Mickey today because he sees her as an easy nomination, which would be Mickey nominated 3 weeks in a row. So her bad gameplay during her stolen HOH still catching up to her. It has made her a block star, but she has been winning competitions, especially when her back is against the wall. So we'll see if she can do that again this week. If Vince, Mickey, Morgan end up on the block together, the numbers might be against Vince. Rachel and Ashley have discussed, even if it comes down to Mickey and Vince, voting Vince out. So Morgan might have led him astray last week in trying to stick with the judges' alliance if that does indeed happen. But he actually has to be nominated first, and we actually have to get to that vote. There's still a lot of game to play this week. Now, going back to the Morgan and Vince stuff with them becoming really, really close, having those really, really long hugs. The house has called them out having a 3-minute long hug today, which is a lot. I mean, for two friends, two players who are just a duo in the Big Brother house, it's a lot. And I think a lot more of the house is starting to find their closeness very weird, as they should. Vince's girlfriend aside, which I will get back to, but even on a game level, it's just you're making yourselves bigger targets. And Ashley even clocked Morgan to her face today, because that's what Ashley does, and that's why I love her. She clocks people to their faces like a good Sagittarius. She said that when Morgan said that she didn't think she could continue playing this game without Vince in it, Ashley clocked her and said, "That's not your man. So why are you acting like you just can't go on in the game without him?" It was a good point. However, I'm still going to make sure that Vince gets more hate in this situation than Morgan. Because while Morgan has proved to be a lonely girl this season, I hate when a woman gets hate when a guy is in a relationship and the guy is always trying to get closer and closer to her, which is what has happened. That's what happened during Vince's HOH. Vince was always trying to get Morgan to stay in his HOH room all night. And yes, Morgan would talk and talk and talk because that's what she does. But he wanted her to stay. She couldn't because she was a have-not at the time. Then when she finally wasn't, he still wanted her to stay. He's the one that initiates a lot of the hugs. He's the one that even when Morgan is mentioning his girlfriend's name to try and create a barrier at times, he doesn't seem to care about that. So I just don't like when the other woman, which Morgan is not, by the way, they're not having some affair just because they're hugging. But usually the other woman gets hate more than the pathetic cheating guy. And even Vince's girlfriend has liked tweets talking shit on Morgan. Like, I get that she probably shouldn't like Morgan for what's happening with her man, but maybe blame your man for being the one that's doing all of that. So, yeah, I'm going to continue to put more of the blame on Vince. And yeah, I know I saw some comments on the short I posted yesterday about how Morgan knows what she's getting into as well. And yeah, she does. And that's why Will, Mickey, Ashley have tried to slyly or subtly push her to maybe look at the bigger picture. But the bigger picture is still that Vince is the one in the relationship that's always being the one pursuing Morgan. That's how I see it. Lastly, I love that Ava and Ashley are getting along now. They are very funny together. I enjoyed them celebrating today that they are not getting nominated on a Keanu HOH because it is pretty unbelievable for those two. However, Keanu did tell Vince last night that he might nominate Ava if he believed that Vince and Morgan wouldn't win a veto and use it on each other. That depends on if Keanu believed Vince, which in the past he would, but maybe he has actually changed his ways. We'll see. He also told Ashley that she might have to be a fourth nom if someone wins veto, but Ava could very well be that fourth nom too. But for now, I'm glad that Ava finally squashed that one-sided beef she had with Ashley. after they had a Mickey exposed party for being the one talking mad shit on Ashley to Ava earlier this season. So good to see them getting along, which I think is good for both of their games too. Ava still needs to play a little harder for me, but she's back in my good graces because I am an Ashley stan, I guess. But as it stands, Keanu seems to for sure want to nominate Mickey and probably Morgan. We'll see if Vince's victim act worked on Keanu or not, and if he nominates Ava instead of Vince. But it would be nice to see Keanu nominate Vince the way Vince has screwed him over time and time again this season. Maybe Keanu finally learned? We'll find out.